It's an ancient journey that takes seekers across Spain, traveling 500 miles. It's called the Camino, and it's used for so many purposes. Well, I'm here with filmmaker walking the Camino, Lydia Smith. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Why do people walk the Camino?
I think there's as many reasons why people walk the Camino as there are people that do it. It's this huge variety of some people doing it for a physical challenge, to see the country of Spain, others for a time out in their lives, and others for very deeply religious reasons of seeking forgiveness of their sins. And it's just an amazing thing to find this variety of beliefs, of nationalities, of reasons for doing the Camino, and yet there's this incredible solidarity that happens when you walk. I joke it's this private club that you just have to walk a couple hundred miles to be part of.
Was there any one pilgrim that stood out for you?
You know, I can't say there was. We actually had about 17 pilgrims that we followed. And we only had room for 6 in the film. I joke that I would have loved to have made a 4-hour film, but my editor would have killed me. Not to mention, I don't think anybody would have sat through it. But what was really amazing is just the variety of people, and I loved each one of them. But what I did something a little bit different with this film is, for me, I really wanted the Camino to cast the movie. My intention was this was the Camino's film. And so of all the people we show in the film, only one I knew beforehand. And everyone else we just kind of picked up along the way. And I wanted to have a variety of ages, nationalities, reasons for doing the Camino, spiritual, religious, or none. And I wanted it to kind of really reflect what you encounter when you're on the Camino.
Now, I understand you've had incredible success with this film.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey. It's really been, we've just had so much support from people that have walked. We did a cross-country tour, and we were actually one of the top 10 grossing documentaries of the year. And that was amazing because we were self-distributing. We didn't have any big budget. We didn't have an ad budget or anything like that. But it really was people coming out that had walked, and they were spreading the words and passing out flyers and handing out postcards. And so it was very much in the spirit of the Camino.
So the pilgrims on the Camino, what kinds of things come up?
I think the Camino really takes you out of your comfort zone and really pushes you to grow as a person. And so for everybody, they have a different thing that's a challenge for them. For example, Annie in the movie, we have a clip on our bonus DVD where she talks about how everything that she thought was going to be easy was hard, and everything that she thought was going to be hard was easy. She's a very private person, so she thought, oh, you know, sleeping in these albergues with people and having to change, that's going to be really challenging. But she was like, oh, at the end, I've seen more men in their underwear than you can shake a stick at. But the walking, she thought was going to be easy, was hard. So I think everybody has their different challenges. I know for me, I walk a lot, so the walking wasn't really super hard for me, but the snoring was excruciating. But you know, some people don't have a problem with snoring. So it's really case by case. I think you get presented with your own issue to try and grow through it.
The universe has a strange way of doing that for us.
Exactly.
For you, what was so important about making this film?
I truly believe that one of the most important things we can do to help the planet is to work on ourselves, to heal our wounds, and to be the best people we can be. Our society spends so much time looking around, looking at all the problems outside ourselves, and so little time looking at ourselves. I mean, we spend more time on taking care of our teeth than we do our mental state.
Right,
most
I
of
agree
us.
with that.
Yeah, and so for me, I just felt like it was so important to show an experience where people had such amazing personal transformation. I have a spiritual practitioner, Susie Lula, and she coined a phrase, personal transformation sparks collective evolution. Mm-hmm. And yet, so many of us are just looking at like, how do we fix, how do we solve this problem, instead of like, what do I need to do to be aligned, to be the best person I can be, to be aligned with my life purpose, and then move forward from there.
Absolutely. Lydia, can you speak about the Camino as a spiritual experience?
I think as a spiritual experience, it's truly remarkable. I think there's some magic that happens on the Camino that comes from millions of people walking before you. There's also talk about that it's aligned perfectly with the Milky Way. And one thing that I've talked to a lot of people about, and I had a personal experience, that the veil between the living and the dead seems somewhat thinner there. My brother passed away when I was 10, so a good 30 years before I walked. And I'd done workshops and done lots of things, but when I walked, it was like I felt my brother right there, and I had new waves of grief. And it was a really interesting experience. And I think that happens for lots of people, that they feel more of a connection with people that have passed. And then for lots of people, I think the thing that's so amazing about the Camino is that you really get what you're looking for, or you get the lesson you need. And for each person, it's so unique. And I think the spiritual journey, it's just like life. There's so many people that find their spirituality through nature, and others through organized religion, and others maybe don't necessarily believe any kind of higher power, but they get it from their friends. So the Camino really reflects that spirituality and meets people right where they are. And so it's so unique for each person. But I think most people would probably say there's something really special on the Camino.
Lydia Smith, thank you so much for being here with me today, walking the Camino, 6 ways to Santiago.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, incredible.